The Jets are spending some cash recently. They yesterday extended Garrett Wilson for big money, their wide receiver, who I'm a big fan of. Today they extended Sauce Gardner for big money, a cornerback who I'm also a big fan of. But I don't care what the Jets do, if we're being real. Right outside of like fantasy football reasons, I don't care what the Jets do. I care about how it impacts the Panthers here in Carolina. The Panthers, watch this, and I believe the ticking clock gets louder. They have 2 years to take big swings. They have 2 years to take big swings. And this has less to do with Sauce Gardner and more to do with the Garrett Wilson contract because they've already locked up their stud corner, J.C. Horn, to a deal significantly below the value of Sauce Gardner. So that's already aging well. But Garrett Wilson signed a 4-year, $130 million contract extension that includes $90 million guaranteed. The average annual value, $32.5 million. Now, anytime someone signs a contract, I said this earlier, my mind immediately goes to, ooh, that's a lot of money, right? Good for that guy. Then the next thought is, how does that impact the market? Who else is going to have to pay it, right? I'm sure Drake London's agent is very excited. I'm sure Terry McLaurin's holdout just became a little bit more sizzly for the Commanders, right? There are other receivers that'll ask for more. But also, I look to the Panthers, and I go, all right, look into your future, right? Garrett Wilson was a top 10 pick. You just made a top 10 pick on a wide receiver in Tepper McMillan. 3 years into the future, if things go as you believe they will with McMillan, 3 years into the future, you better have probably significantly more than $32.5 million per year going to McMillan because that'll be 3 more years of additional wide receivers resetting the market higher and higher and the cap going up. That's a daunting task, isn't it? Especially when you consider if Bryce Young, and this is a big if, right? I'm not predicting it, but if Bryce Young plays more like the second half of last year than the first half of last year for the rest of this upcoming season, like if he plays well, you're going to have to find, what, $45 million a year for Bryce? That's a lot of gosh darn money. And we've known for a while that there is this secret window when your quarterback is on a rookie contract. Jalen Hurts and Matt Stafford kind of ruined my little fact here. But for a long time, there was a stretch from I want to say whenever Brad Johnson was the quarterback that won for the Bucs, so it's like 2002 maybe, all the way up through when Matt Stafford won for the Rams. That time in between, there were 2 rookie contract quarterbacks that won a Super Bowl. Right, Nick Foles, although the quarterback was actually Carson Wentz there, and then the 2, right? Then Flacco and Wilson, one on rookie contracts. Every other quarterback that won every other quarterback that won a Super Bowl during that stretch was named either Manning, Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, or Roethlisberger. Basically, you had to have a Hall of Famer to win a Super Bowl, like an obvious Hall of Famer to win a Super Bowl on not a rookie contract. Which tells everybody that doesn't have a Hall of Famer, you better go all out to win when your guy's on a rookie contract, right? If you want to win with a Russell Wilson level quarterback or a Flacco level quarterback, you better win when they are on their rookie contract because you have money to spend elsewhere. That's been known about quarterbacks for a long time. I am adding wide receiver and defensive end to that category, and maybe corner. Right? What I mean by that is if you have one of these really, really, really big money position players on a rookie contract, you have to take advantage of spending elsewhere when they're on a rookie contract. And if you have multiple of them on a rookie contract, you have to take advantage of that even more. Right? So Bryce Young is on a rookie contract year 3 this year, year 4 next year, then 5th year options become a thing and extensions become a thing. So you have 2 more years of rookie contract for Bryce. You have at least 4 more years of rookie contract for Tepper McMillan. They will overlap for 2 years. You have 2 years to go spend a bunch of money and front-load contracts and eat those cap hits when you don't have to pay the quarterback and the wide receiver. You better do it. You better do it. This year and maybe next year, then, you have to stack contracts. Because after that, then money's going to spread thin, right? It happens with every single team that builds anything of significance. You start having to pick and choose. Do we keep this guy or that guy? We can't afford both. Which of these is our quarterback good enough to win with a defense that's underpaid? And he knows he's got to go outperform them. Right? Look at what the Bengals are dealing with. They paid Joe Burrow. Now they've paid Chase. They've paid Higgins. They can't pay Trey Hendrickson. He's holding out. They had an awful defense last year, and they're not paying their best defensive player because they're looking at their studs on offense and going, we can't afford it. Now, you may say, well, that's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. The Panthers aren't that good. I agree. But you have to plan for it because you can't be caught off guard, right? You have to be prepared. If things go well, you have to bet on yourself. Right? Because if you're banking on, well, we're going to have all this money to spend because we're not giving Bryce Young a long-term contract, then what are you doing? Right? You have to bet on your quarterback. I'm not saying give him the contract. I'm just saying be prepared to pay him that much. Garrett Wilson getting 4 years, $130 million. You should expect that from Tetairoa McMillan. And if you don't, why'd you draft him 8th overall? It's not, by the way, I'm as big a Garrett Wilson fan as there is from an evaluation standpoint. Been high on him since he came out in the draft. I am a person that kind of forgives some of his lack of statistical prowess because he's been in such terrible situations with the Jets. But he's not a top 5 wide receiver right now, right? He's not CeeDee Lamb. He's not Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. Like he's not one of those guys all the way at the top. So Tetairoa McMillan doesn't have to be top 3 to get huge money. That's the way the wide receiver market is going now. DK Metcalf is one of the 4 players making more average per year than Garrett Wilson. If Tetairoa McMillan is DK Metcalf, that's pretty understandable, right? So spend your money now because if he's even DK Metcalf, then you're going to have to spend a huge amount of money on Tetairoa McMillan in 3 or 4 years. Spend now. Go for it. Not this year. This year you're not going to win a Super Bowl. Let's be real. The next year might be your last chance unless Bryce Young is a Hall of Famer.